It is good to have you guys back together. Okay, but let's get to business here, because no one knows the inside workings of the Philadelphia Eagles, of course, better than Sal Paolantonio does, and all of the attention is on the throwing shoulder of Jalen Hurts. What can you tell us about the status of his shoulder going into their huge game Saturday night against the Giants?
Well, I'm a reporter, so we're not going to guess. We're not going to predict. I'm going to tell you what I know and what we don't know. So here's what we know. In practice this week, it's been a full go for Jalen Hurts. The ball, I'm told, has plenty of zip, plenty of accuracy. He's very decisive with the football, a lot of velocity. And the trajectory of the ball is the normal Jalen Hurts. He's moving around very well. Nick Sirianni has taken the restrictor plate off and told him it's time to go. And that is the message that Jalen Hurts has told his teammates behind the scenes. As Bart Scott said earlier, by any means necessary, we got to get it done. But what we don't know, Greeny, is very important. We don't know how that shoulder is going to react after he gets hit. Everybody's eyes will be on number one, pregame and during the game. How is he moving? How is he throwing the ball downfield? After he gets hit, how does he react? All of those things are unknowable. And when you have a great unknown like this, it adds so much suspense and drama to a football game or to a story like this. It really can't be overlooked. It really can't be overstated. Here you have the MVP candidate through the first 14 or 15 weeks. We haven't really seen the full Jalen Hurts for a month. It's a great unknown. It's the great drama of this weekend. How will Jalen Hurts play? And how will that shoulder react after getting hit? Everybody on that panel will tell you, who's an athlete, knows that a shoulder injury like that is easily re-injured. So it's very important to watch how Jalen Hurts reacts after he gets hit.
Stay with me, Sal. I want to keep you here for the conversation, but let me bring this to the table. Yesterday, Rob Ninkovich, and you played defense a long time in the NFL. When I asked Chris Canty, how will the Giants approach this game? He said to me, Greeny, they're going to check his oil. What does that mean, and how will they do it?
Huh? Well,
don't look at me.
I would drop some weight on him.
Check his oil.
Right.
Is that not a
That's
basically
what he was saying.
Yeah, you're going to check him. You're going to make sure that his shoulder is healthy enough to sustain. But
how?
When he's a running back, he's a running back. He's out of that quarterback protection bubble. Once he puts that ball down in his hands like this and he's going forward, you're going to wrap him up, and similar to how he was injured, like the defender literally just dropped on top of him. So you're going to have guys want, okay, you're back, you're on the field, you're putting your helmet down like you want to be a running back. We're going to hit you like a running back.
So this is what it comes to. He has the protection. We all saw the ridiculous flag that Dexter Lawrence got in the game against Kirk Cousins the other day. He has that protection when he's a passer. But when he's running with the football, which when he's at his most effective, he does a lot, Bart, there is no such protection. You're going to land on him and make sure that shoulder can handle it.
Well, that's the key. Like, we want to know if that element is not in their game, then that really takes a whole package out of our play, because we have to have it organized. Are we going to crash down? Are we going to get up the field? Are we going to slow play? If that's not an element that we have to worry about, then it allows us to really play a lot faster because we take it away. But what we would say, and people don't like to hear it, we would say don't let them fall, right? Because what's better than one hit? 5. So when you get him, wrap him up. They're not going to blow the whistle because he's a guy that can break out of tackles. Everybody come get some. Everybody get a lick. We're going to hold him up, and let's see if we can take some shots on his arm.
Well, that's another thing, too. When they're running that option play, as an outside linebacker, defensive end, you can either slow play that or you can fast play that, and you can change that up. So if you're running this read option type play, and instead of crashing, you just say, I'm going to go hit his upfield shoulder.
And it's a coordination.
I'm going to go get him, and everyone understands, okay, this play we're going to hit him, next play we're going to slow play.
So if I were to say, Damian Woody, that I feel like the entire game comes down to this. The Eagles are a better team than the Giants if Jalen Hurts is most of himself. They were the best team in the NFL this year when he was most of himself. But if he is compromised, if he isn't able to do all of these other things that he does besides throwing the football, this feels to me like it becomes pretty close to a dead-even game. Is that overstating it?
No, it's not overstating it, because the quarterback design runs are such a huge part of the Philadelphia Eagles offense. It's what makes their offense so dynamic. When you have, and we always talk about, when you talk about the running game, it's a numbers game, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference between 10 on 11 and 11 on 11 when you got a quarterback that can run the ball like Jalen Hurts. If he can't run the ball, advantage, in my opinion, shifts towards the Giants.
I think the key is when Sal said what we know, what we don't know, right? What we know is things are better than they were 2 weeks ago. He is doing more in practice. What we don't know is really how it's going to affect his performance and their ability to design a game plan and call plays around it, right? Because if he is compromised, if he is limited, and if he is in danger of hurting that thing worse by taking a hit, they could run him less. They could put fewer plays where he's obviously in harm's way. So I think it's going to be something that affects them going forward because I don't think he's full strength the rest of the way.
So let me circle it back to Sal now, because this past weekend, while your Eagles had their bye, you were in Minneapolis for that game between the Giants and the Vikings, and it was I don't want to say a coming out party because he had a very nice year, but boy, Daniel Jones certainly turned a lot of heads, and it has begat the question on this show a lot of this week. Did the Giants have they found their answer at quarterback going forward? Sal, what can you tell us?
I think that they have, Greeny, emphatically. When you look at what Daniel Jones has brought to the party this year, right? He's got the lowest number of turnovers, highest number of rushes, rushing yards, and rushing touchdowns. And in that game, specifically against the Vikings, what I saw was a guy throwing the ball. Look at this throw right here, bang. And he puts it right on the shoulder, outside shoulder, exactly where the wide receiver needs it. He was very decisive with his movements, very decisive with his ball placements. I think they got the quarterback of the future. I was there when Dave Gettleman drafted this guy, and there was a lot of skepticism, and there was for a number of years about Daniel Jones because the turnovers were so high. But Brian Daboll, coaching matters in this league. You got 3 former NFL players on that panel. They will tell you coaching matters and design matters. And with Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka, they have found the right guy. He's tough, he's smart, he's very coachable, and he can do a lot of things. He's a dual threat quarterback who can run and who can throw. But circling back to Jalen Hurts, 3 specific points coming off of that debate. Number 1, the Eagles have about 5 design run plays on average for Jalen Hurts, 5. Number 2, the RPOs. Are they putting it in Miles Sanders' belly, Boston Scott, or is he taking it out and running it? Those are things we will look for early in the football game. And then number 3, Nink said Dallas and the Bucs was a pillow fight. This is the rumble in the concrete jungle of South Philadelphia, baby. NFC East, Giants and Eagles. It's going to be rough and tumble.
Absolutely. Sal is ready to go for that. I love all those. Let me quickly circle it back, though, to the Daniel Jones of it all, because Bart, for those who don't know, hosts the show now in New York, the radio show on ESPN Radio in New York. Is signing Daniel Jones up long-term, committing to him, paying him, I don't mean like Patrick Mahomes gets paid, but paying him like legit quarterback money. Is that the right thing for the Giants to do?
I think it absolutely is. I've been saying for years on this panel that I saw a lot of similarities to Josh Allen, right? And people laugh at you, but he is a dual threat quarterback. He's smart, he's tough. And this is the worst Daniel Jones that you're going to get because they have yet to surround him with weapons. He's doing this with guys that were on practice squads. Coaching matters. He's proven to everybody here. And listen, he survived for 5 years or 4 years of criticism in the toughest market in all of sports, and he come out the best side. He's a great spokesman for the New York Giants, and he's fared himself very well. He deserves everything he gets.
Actually, I forget who was this. It might have been Ryan Clark who said it here on Monday. He looked more like Josh Allen on Sunday than Josh Allen looked like Josh Allen on Sunday. Have the Giants found their guy?
Yes, they have found their guy, and a lot of what Bart said, the fact that he survived all those years of criticism, the turnovers and everything, and has come out on the other side, that's the guy you want representing your franchise in this city.
Agree?
Yes, and I'll explain why. So when I'm watching this game, I literally said to myself, I thought they didn't have any receivers. And what a great quarterback does is he elevates the group around him to a higher level. And I saw that. I literally saw Daniel Jones take a group of guys that were cut, cast-offs, now leading the team in receptions and yardage, and basically make them look like great football players. And that's what you want out of your number 1 starting quarterback that's going to make a lot of money. Force multiplier.
It's a really good point. It's an excellent point, Dan. The one thing that could get thrown into all this, of course, is that some team or teams who are quarterback needy might throw a whole bunch of money in Daniel Jones' direction, yes?
Right, and then the Giants have the ability to franchise him and keep him off the market. I think they would rather do a deal with Daniel Jones and then franchise Saquon Barkley if they're going to try and keep both. But if it comes to that, then I think they would hold him off the market with a franchise tag and work on a long-term deal.
All right, Sal Paolantonio, give us a final word.
Going back to Nink's point, Isaiah Hodgins. Watch him in this football game. There's a guy, a wide receiver out of Oregon State, who has developed on the fly with this offense, came in the middle of the year and has done a remarkable job. And Daniel Jones gets him the football. Watch him in this game.
I want to say he had 8